Hello again. Welcome to Young Generation. I'm your host, Jim Perales. I want to say this gentleman we got, Kevin Kossub. He's got his band here that played last night at Sam's Burger Joint, and what a wonderful old style music. Also, he's related to Augie Myers. Um, Also, we had other musicians there, and it was like a gathering of the old school. So, welcome, John. I'm Kevin.
Well, thank you
I,
very much. Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
yeah. And give me a little history. How did you start the band? And
Oh,
I
okay.
know it goes way back when, but
Well, yes. Well, I've started my record label back in 1980,
okay.
and it's called Kevin Cat Records with a K, because this old black dude told me one time in the late 70s, he goes, Kevin Cat, ain't you a jive? So that's pretty cool. I'll call my record label Kevin Cat Records. And I've got about 100 artists on it, and some are departed. I've got songs by Doug Sahm, Sir Douglas, a great one. And I also have a Sir Douglas Museum over at my house on the east side of Doug and Augie and Rocky Morales and all the great, musicians, the West Side Horns. And I started my label back in 1980. I sold my 62 Plymouth Valiant, got $400 and went out to Joy's Records out there in West Commerce, Joy Lopez and Zazzer Studio, and I cut 4 tunes by selling my Plymouth Valiant.
Oh my God! Sold the car, huh?
Sold the car, but I got 4 songs out of it.
Yeah.
But that's hundreds of songs ago, because I've just currently released my 27th CD, and we just shot a movie called Your Checkered Past here in San Antonio and B County at a friend of mine's ranch,
Yeah,
the 4D Ranch.
I was going to ask about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Give a little information about the movie, what it's about.
Well, the song title, Your Checkered Past, one of my co-songwriters and also a guitar player in the band, Dan Marcuse, he wrote this song, Your Checkered Past, about me.
Okay.
And so it was just so real that I turned it into a movie, and I wrote the movie line and everything, and it was directed by myself and William Duggar. And it was a lot different because I've got 25 videos out of songs that I wrote for other people or co-wrote. But to shoot a movie, it was different than shooting a 3 or 4 minute video, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you have like a website or oh, I forgot. You don't use email. You're old school.
Well,
I forgot about that.
in fact, Champagne Cheryl always was calling me a low-tech redneck. So I wrote a song, Low Tech Redneck. Still don't have an internet, but I don't tweet, I don't sext, I don't text. I'm not even on the internet. I'm old school, but what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm a low tech redneck. And that was cut by Augie Myers, and I wrote that with Dan Marcuse, in fact, and he also cut the song.
Yeah. Augie Myers, he was there last night.
Yeah, Augie Myers was at the show with his lovely wife, Sarah, and it's just great to have him out. And I mean, he is definitely a San Antonio living legend. He gave me a Johnny Mercer book once for Christmas, and he put it in there, and I cherish it, because Johnny Mercer's my songwriting hero. And he's the best of all time, and I can explain that to you if you'd like. But he put in the book, to Kevin, the only relative I can relate to.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's a cool way of putting it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was honored.
Your music, where do you get it? It just out of mind, or what people tell you, or?
Well, like a song I wrote with Paul Kindera, Rode Hard, it's on the new album. I was in Fall City at the Palace Cafe with a friend of mine, Richard, and Fall City's right down the road. And this woman in her 70s told Richard, I feel like I've been rode hard and put up wet. I went right out to the pickup truck and started writing the song.
Right.
That's where songs come from, and Paul Kindera did the music.
Wow, it was.
But that's where songs come from. In fact, Johnny Mercer said songs are like buses. They just come by around the corner
Yeah.
every 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes. Here's
15
another one.
times.
Here's another one. That guy was so cool. In fact, I went to Savannah, Georgia, and put flowers on his grave.
Wow.
And it's Johnny Mercer Boulevard, Johnny Mercer Junior High Theater. It's just Southern class in Savannah. I fell in love with the town. And what was funny was when he wrote 1,800 songs with 267 different collaborators, got 20 Academy Award nominations, won 5. But the biggest thing, though, is he started Capitol Records with $5,000
Jesus.
in 1941. I mean, no one can shine that guy's shoes. He was it. And right now, they're playing Johnny Mercer. Right now, someone's recording a Johnny Mercer song
Oh boy.
because he's so prolific.
Yeah. But it was wonderful last night, Sam's Burger Joint. I noticed you have other musicians there.
Oh, yeah, I had Paul Kildare perform, and Mark Webber, and Elo Suernos. And he's got a tune called Busted and Disgusted that Augie's going to cut. I think Augie and Flocko are going to cut it. So
Flocko?
you go. Yeah, you go, Mark. Yeah, I've got one song by Flocko on my label, too.
Oh.
Well, it's like, there's this country song, you got to have a fiddle in the band. Not in South Texas. You got to have an accordionist in the band.
Wow.
I mean, that's like now that's almost a rule, especially if you want to play old style good music.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just how it's evolved. I never thought I'd end up with a 6-piece band.
This guy right here, who is he?
Oh, Broadway Joe Gonzalez. He's a legend. He had an amusement company on Broadway, and he was the king of the jukeboxes and pool tables, man.
Boy, he
Well, in fact, he's on my label because he cut. I bought a jukebox for my birthday, 45 RPM jukebox. I've had 2 in my life. I said, no, I've got to get me a jukebox again, man. So I called this man, and he hooked me up. So anybody wants to buy a 45 jukebox, Broadway Joe's the man to talk to. But he had cut a Johnny Mercer song, P.S. I Love You, not the Beatles one. The Beatles never would have made it because, remember, they were on Capitol Records. So anyway, and he started the label.
Yeah.
There would never be no Beach Boys either.
Right.
You just start going down the list of people on Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Sinatra, Dean Martin, everybody. But I skip talk. He recorded P.S. I Love You, so I got him on my label, and then he put out another song on my label called Angel that he wrote, and he has the West Side Horns and Spot Barnett backing him up. And the West Side Horns, man, Jack Barber and the boys, Al Gomez, man, that's probably the best band in town.
Where is the West Side Horns playing? Is
They play everywhere.
The Deco? Pizza?
Oh, they play all over town. They played the Whitty Museum for Christmas. I mean, they're all over the place. But that's the West Side Horns were they were Doug's backup band when he was playing the blues.
The Doug, yeah.
And Doug Psalm's band, and they're just I think they're the best band in town. I love Jack and these guys to death.
Right.
Because I mean, you see, I've recorded with Al Gomez over at Blue Cat and Jack and the boys, and that guy, we'd play him our song. It'd be recorded. He would sit down at the piano and chart the entire song out. And then he'd write all the horn parts, and man, I'm just going, wow. I mean, this is an education in music.
Wow. You told me, Rex, he was the one that
Rex
brought me
Wilson.
there.
Yeah.
And my sister at the pig stand, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, Rex is a blues nut. He just loves the blues. If you go to the pig stand, it's loaded with Muddy Waters and Jimmy Reed and everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Reed's my all-time favorite. Early Bobby Blue Bland. He had some really hot recordings out on Duke Records. Because, see, this whole mess started with me when I was 6 years old. I started collecting records. Mm-hmm. And at one time, I had 40,000 records in my collection. I bought out a jukebox distributor at a radio station in Robstown from the Melody Shop, a little old man named Clint Forsman. And he sold me 40,000 records for $2,000. Wow. And at that time, there was a magazine called Gold Mine Record Magazine where people, I want Doris Day or I want Steve or whatever, whoever they were collecting. And I'd send them a little postcard. They'd start sending the money to the P.O. box.
Oh, God.
And then I said, a good friend of mine that passed away, he was like our manager in the 90s, Rufus Thomas. And he said, Kevin, why don't you put a record out or just shut up about it? Well, Rufus, I put out over 25 records and 27 CDs and 45s, EPs, and now I'm making movies. So I took that man's advice, and 40 years later, I'm still doing it.
Wow. And you, there's other recordings, you know, you said you had, you know, for the movie, that like in El Paso and...
El Paso. Let's see what else.
You said like a little cut, I think, or maybe I was wrong.
No, well, the next movie I'm going to shoot is going to be in Pandale, Texas. It's on the Pecos River, and I'm a crooked judge. Not to be related with Judge Roy Bean. It's 27 miles north of Langtree on one of my friend's properties. It's called Honeymoon in Pandale because it's a desolate place, and nobody would ever have a honeymoon in Pandale. And it's going to be a twisted West Texas tale. This movie, Your Checkered Past, is a twisted South Texas tale.
Okay.
So I'm kind of staying with that kind of format?
Well, today, because I do Lyft and Uber, I picked up Lyft. I picked up and you're gonna freak out on this. I told them about the history of Phil Collins,
Okay.
what made San Antonio become #1 in the USA, #2 in the world. But I told him about that. He says, we're so involved with Western, I mean, any kind of Western movie and everything. I had your video. I gave it to him. His face just dropped.
Well,
I said, these
Thank
people
you.
are related to Augie Myers. And he goes, well, I'm going to look up the website or whatever. I said, I want email address or a phone number.
Yeah.
But his wife she was going crazy.
Well, I think it's a great thing what Phil Collins did. I mean, here's a kid in England that had a fixation with Davy Crockett and the Alamo and donated all that stuff. I mean, he should be made an honorary Texan. If they haven't done it, they missed the boat because he deserves it.
I think it's coming in the next year. He's also going to build a museum. But
That's fantastic.
I think I can get a hold of him, and probably the ceremony opening, you could probably play there.
Well, if you could do that, that'd be great. If you think they can handle Kevin in the Black Tears.
Oh, he's got
I'm
to.
kind of raw, raunchy, suggestive, and in your face. And if you like politically correct, you're not going to like us because we are not.
Yeah, okay. But that's
We're Texans.
The Texans. That's why this is considered an independent state, and people are moving here like a flock of seagulls from California, New York.
Yes, we
Chicago.
just don't. We just if they're coming from California, leave your politics there because California is $1 trillion in debt, and 1 out of every 12 people doesn't have a 9th grade education. So you're doing a great job, Governor Moonbeam. Keep it up. That's Jerry Brown. He was governor in the 70s, and then he wrote his autobiography in the 80s saying what a terrible governor he is. What does California do? Let's reelect him.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not going California.
Where's your next gig, if you have one?
My next gig is probably going to be at Green Hall in the springtime.
In springtime.
And then we'll be back at Sam's. But right now I'm going to go down here and build a house in Fall City for the next month.
Okay.
I'm a man of many hats. It's a little house. I'm going to build a porch and everything and enclose it. And then I'm going to be shooting the movie in the spring in Pandale. And this movie's going to have a 14-person cast, including Mark Webber.
Mark Webber.
Because there's going to be a wedding ceremony, and he's going to play his accordion. He's going da. And then I'm going to perform Angelada in this movie with the Oliveris band. They're down there, and they're from Odessa, but they open many shows for the Texas Tornadoes in those small towns.
Wow, the Texas Tornadoes.
Oh, what a group! That was a super group.
Freddie Fender, all of them. Augie
Freddie,
Myers.
Falco, Augie, Doug. I mean, they were like a Tex-Mex version of the Traveling Wilburys.
I had a question. Will you ever be playing at the Market Square this coming Fiesta?
In fact, if you could get me in there, we played there a lot in the early 90s.
I think I could get you in.
Well, that would be fantastic, and I'd even tone it down and make it more family friendly.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, and that's the thing. I like because you're outspoken. The music was awesome last night.
Well, thank you.
It brought me back to the 70s, the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a rocker, with little Tex-Mex flair. And like my songs, Yolanda, Angelada, Deep in the Heart of Texas, they're all, when I mention towns like Seaton, because I used to live in Papalote in B County, it's Sinton. But you say Seaton. It's not Robstown, it's Robestown.
Robestown. Yeah, there's a...
So, I mean, I've got all these little small Texas towns and all because I love South Texas. I love it. I lived 21 years of my life in Nueces County and B County, and that's when I had my band with Charlie Bell and Steve Mallett, who have now passed away. And I miss you boys. I miss you, Ram, Ayala, Taco Land. And I've had 4 people in my band die since I started in 1980, but the circus goes on and the ringmaster's still here.
Yeah, there you go. And
and I get all new talent, and whenever I do a show at Sam's or places, I bring all these people from my record label.
Who was the other band that was there?
That was Mike Ellis's band with Jackie Huddle. They're the Fun Tones. I don't have them on my label, but I have Mike recorded a couple of songs on backed up Roxanne Ramsey, who was on the show with Paul Kandura, you had mentioned earlier. Well, they're both on my label too.
Oh, wow.
And Paul, he and I are writing. I've already given him the words, and he's putting the music to it. He's going to sing the title track to the new movie, Honeymoon in Pandale.
Oh, wow.
because Dan Marcuse did this one, and I got to treat my co-writers equal and fair. So he's going to sing that one in this one. And we're writing on that. And I've got the script all done, and we got a director this time because last time I bit off more than I could chew because I've never made a movie, but you learn through experience.
Wow.
And this next one's going to be a lot better, and there's going to be a 14-member cast.
Yeah.
Down the beautiful Pecos River, man. It's
Really?
beautiful down there.
I think I'm gonna head down that way. Just
Well,
to
it's
check
just
it out.
south of Odessa, about an hour. I mean, Ozuna.
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 Odessa.
Ozona.
Ozona.
Oh, I'm speaking of Sonny Ozuna. God bless you, Sonny. And the Sunlighters, but no, it's Ozona. Sonny Ozuna.
Can you tell me? And I wanted to bring this up to you because you're a legend in music.
Well, thank you.
But the Tejano style, what happened? It's like it faded, and I don't know why.
Well, there was Emilio and Selena, and they were the great hopes of it all. And then it just, to me, when they started putting all that synthesizer and all that stuff in the music, it's definitely, Tejano music to me is a conjunto, an accordion, and a bajo. And then when they get high tech with all the synthesizer stuff, that's just a bunch of, it's like who took the C out of rap.
Yeah.
When you had all these beautiful singers like James Brown, Little Richard, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Ford Todd, I mean, beautiful songs, beautiful harmonies. And then they come out with this. I mean, I really didn't think rap would last this long. Wow. Sorry, I'm old school.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just an old rocker.
But it's good music. That you said the drummer was from the West Side Horns.
No, our Urban Urbano was my drummer, and he was with the West Side Horns for many, many years. He's currently in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah, you
the
did
drummer
tell me
I
about
used last night was Rooster, who is a prison guard in Longview.
Oh, okay.
He's a prison guard.
He's my best friend. Oh, my God.
And then Dan Marcuse is a retired dentist. And I think Mark was a drill sergeant.
Oh, my
Mark
God.
Weber.
Oh, my God.
Somehow we have a band. I never thought I'd have a six-piece band. I got Gilbert Chavez, Beto, the real Beto, not the imposter from El Paso. He lives out in Castroville, and he plays saxophone.
Saxophone. That's what I was going to ask.
And
you.
he went
did.
up with Broadway Joe, and Broadway Joe did all the West Side classics, man. He was great.
Yeah.
And he'll be back in June at Sam's.
Oh, also. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, see, when I do shows, I do a package show with everybody on my label.
Yeah.
Means y'all don't want to see me for 4 hours. So I don't want to torture y'all that long. So.
No. But it was
Last night I did 8 songs. That was more than enough.
It was great last night. I never been at Sam's Burger Joint, and boy, they got a stage there.
Oh yeah, and the sound man Hogan is great. And in fact, we record every show. We recorded all 4 hours. See, on this last album, when we did that in June, and we shot the band there in June and put it in the movie, I was doing Hollywood Trash, which I wrote with Paul Candera, and then Lisa Marie Sharp recorded a live blues song there, and I put out Angie Lotta, which is my opening song.
I like
Angie,
that.
Angie Lotta, a whole lot of pornada. And she left me all alone in a place called Sinton. She's muy mala to the bone.
Yeah, to the bone.
Learned a few things in San Antonio.
Yeah, but it was wonderful. I'm
Well,
glad.
thank you so much.
And,
I think it's one of the best shows we've ever done. We were very fortunate.
Yeah. What about the pig stand?
The pig stand.
Will you be playing there anytime soon?
Well, I'm sure Rex could get me there if he wanted to.
Oh my God!
I'm
going to
Rex,
call
Rex
him.
is the boss man.
I'm
I'm
call
that
him.
Rex Wilson. I love him to death, man. He's done a whole lot. In fact, on this album, he found me Ginger Pickett, and she really can write some blues songs. She's living up in Canton, out there east of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But she was down in Austin and Bernie for a while, and he found me Lisa Marie Sharp, and he found me the Ghost Tracks. So, I mean, for a cat that's his age, goes out and brings talent to me and sponsors a lot of them himself. He really has done a lot for the local musicians in this town.
Yeah, I met him at the pig stand, and he invited me out to almost Barmacy?
Yeah, well, I think he's got my CD on the jukebox there. I'll have to
Oh
go
my
there and
God.
play Road Hard. Or
Oh,
something
I'm gonna play it myself.
Sanctuary City. I lost my baby in a sanctuary
In
city.
Sanctuary City.
That's on the internet if y'all want to see
you
it.
you
people.
played that last night,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yong says, man, that song's a hit, but they won't play me on the radio. I don't know who you got to pay nowadays to get played on the radio, but hey, I still put out an album every year and write new songs. I mean, I'm not stopping until I'm dead.
There you go.
The next one I put out is going to be number 29.
Jeez, that's a lot of music.
Yeah, well, see, when I got started in this when I was 6 years old, that was 1961. Man, I was imitating Bobby Darin and Elvis and Johnny Cash. And I'd entertain all the neighborhood kids. And like I said, the man said, put out a record or shut up about it. Well, I did, and I'll keep putting them out as long as I live, because there's nothing better than be able to write lyrics, and that's what I basically am as a writer of lyrics.
Well, I'm gonna talk with Blas Martinez. He's been on my show. He's a caricature at Market Square, and he's involved with the city council, or I guess the meetings. So I could see if we can get you.
Well, I would
there.
love to be down there in Fiesta.
Oh my God, that would be so.
Because
good.
the Black Tears are a party act.
Okay.
You know, it's you know,
And
it's
that's
fun.
what we
It's fun. My songs are fun.
I like them. I really do.
So that's why a lot of the music. That's why I miss the people like the Coasters or Ray Stevens. I mean, they had fun, Weird Al, fun, comical songs that make you laugh instead of being so serious all the time.
Yeah.
People, you need to let your hair down and just go with the flow and groove.
There's no crying, huh?
Oh no, woman, no cry, Bob Marley. No, you know that's not. In fact, I saw Marley when he was at the arena. I was San Antonio Arena. I was like 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I saw Jimi Hendrix at San Antonio Arena when I was 15. He had the Band of Gypsies. Tickets were $3.
Wow. Back then.
$3.
Jesus.
See Jimi Hendrix.
Wow, ain't that something?
In fact, when I was 14, I went up to Dallas. I got out of school and I had to read Romeo and Juliet, so I caught a bus and went to see my cousin Sammy Barron, who's also passed away in Austin. And we drove up to Dallas. I was 14, he was 21, and the Rolling Stones were playing with Chuck Berry as the opening act. And they were an hour late, so Chuck Berry had to do 2 sets. The tickets were $3.50. They tore the ticket in half and it said Stones and Berry. I sold it in Goldmine for $50 to a Stones collector. The ticket stub.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that collect ticket stubs to Elvis, the Beatles, Stones. Those are the three biggest collectors of all time. If you're going to be a record collector, no one comes close to that. Of course, I collect everybody from Mercer to Bobby Darin to Jimmy Reed to Bobby Blue Bland. I mean, it's George Jones and Tammy Wynette.
Oh God.
All the pain
Legends.
and heartache in their voice. I got to see George Jones 4 times. And I got to meet the man. And I got his autograph, and I'll always cherish that forever.
Yeah.
He's the king of country singers. No one will ever come close to that.
You said something about you and Flacco doing something together.
Well, Flacco has one song on my label. He put it out. I got it from Toby Torres back when he had Torres Recording Studio over there by the taco stand on Pressa.
Yeah. Pressa.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest little 8-track studios we ever recorded in. Now these people have 124 tracks and all this. You know, in the digital age, you don't need that much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go spend the extra money, it's not going to be any better than if you're going to do it in an 8-track studio. And you got to remember, all the early stuff, like Phil Spector, he recorded just on 2 tracks. You Lost That Love and Feeling, Be My Baby.
Yeah.
Just 2 tracks. And there was mono. It wasn't even stereo.
Yeah,
and look at all the hits that guy had.
Yeah, that's been a...
But I like to put the fun back into music, like the Coasters and Ray Stevens, because fun music is happy music that makes people smile.
I like it.
And if you could get them to laugh. You know, I always remember what Randy Garibay told me. He's passed away, and he's on my label too. He sings "Will You Love Me Manana" with Doug Psalm, with the West Side Horns. That's one of my biggest sellers. But he said, do you remember Ed Sullivan's show where the guy would twirl the plates?
Yeah.
And he'd go da 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 da.
Yeah, I remember that.
He keep twirling plates, and he said, Kevin, that guy does that at the best hotels and casinos year round.
Jeez.
And says, if you could just entertain them, that's entertainment. No matter how you do it, if you can entertain them, you've won.
Wow.
Just for the guy twirling flat. I'll always remember Randy Garibay told me that.
And you said Augie Myers he's going to record again?
Oh, yeah, he's got a new album coming out, and Augie's going to be at Sam's Burger Joint February 1st.
Okay, I remember.
So that's put it on your calendar. We're going to go there and see him, of course. And he's got a new album coming out. I don't know what it is, but it's coming out.
Oh, guys, it's
I mean, it's got
suspense.
last night when I saw him, I kind of had something, I had something on my mind. I was putting on a show.
Yeah.
So that I'll ask him. I'll call him right when I get home and ask him.
But it was good to meet him.
Well, it's real funny because Augie's in the phone book.
Okay.
And about in 2000, Bob Dylan's manager called him. He got his name out of the phone book. Because how many Grammy winners you know is listed in the phone book?
Oh, okay.
Just think, and he called him up. He says, yeah, Bob wants you to record down in Florida. And he says, how do I know you're Bob Dylan's manager?
Wow.
You get a guy calling you off the phone and say, but he did 2 hours with him, and actually Bob Dylan won the Grammy for that one.
Yeah.
Sounds like the quintet with Bob Dylan singing.
What a surprise, man.
Yeah, I mean, and he got Best Rock Singer like in 2000, which, I guess if you hang around long enough, that's what I'm doing. Maybe they'll give me something to get me out the door.
Wow, no kidding. Do you have anybody, a shout out you wanna bring to other musicians or friends or anything?
Oh no, I want to thank Eric and everybody at Sam's and Hogan. They treated us so good there. We love playing there, and they're just beautiful people.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed it last night too. I haven't been out in a while. I played at Almost Pharmacy. I sat in with the San Antonio Blues Cats one time.
Oh yeah. Well, Mark Stewart was out there and he did some blues songs. He was with those cats for a long time.
Oh my God!
I went to Central with him.
Small world, man.
Yeah,
Small.
well, he recorded a song I wrote for him called "The Blues Has No Color," and we had the West Side Horns on it. Then he wrote one on my label that he put out called the OCD Blues, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Blues.
Oh my God! Yeah.
He's a heck of a blues player. He really has that southern drawl when he sings. In fact, he does a show, a blues review, every Sunday 4 to 6 at Trinity Radio Station. It's called the Blues Review. Okay. And he is really. I'm a musicologist, but this guy's got me beat when it comes to the history of the blues artist. He knows them all.
All right.
And if you really want to hear the real blues, tune in to 91.7 on Sunday, 4 to 6 with Mark Stewart.
Okay. Thank you all for joining Young Generation. Kevin Koubjan, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got to pronounce his name right.
Well, when I used to substitute teach, man, they'd always say Koubjan, and I said, just call me Mr. K. Well, they changed that to Mr. Kaka in no time.
All right. Take care, guys. God bless.
Thank you. It was a wonderful interview. You think it worked?
You can give this back to him. He just wanted me to show the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, these are yours.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. And so if you want to cut that up, you can say, well, here's what it was like at Sam's, and I could be doing that Hollywood trash.
Okay.
See, because it's in there live, but it was live last June, but it doesn't matter. You just have to show about 1.5 minutes of the song.
Okay.
And that way you can hear Jackson. Well, here's what it was like at Sam's last night, and you could see. I thought of that on the way down here instead of me actually singing something. We'll do that next time.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, you could go and cut that into the tape. Mm-hmm. You do what I mean? You do it.
We'll be right back.